Welcome back, everyone. Let's get the wiring done and do a little bit more assembly. Okay, got everything all tied in together. You can see I used a lot of pins here instead of wire. Saves on wire. That's why you never throw those out. Looks good. Okay, I don't have this hooked up yet, but all the other ones are. Let's do a quick light test just to make sure everything's going to light up. 12-volt power source. Well. Would you looky there. Of course, I still got to put some lights over here for the other impulse engines. I still got to hook these up here for the front deflector, but other than that, everything's nicely lit up. Looking very, very good. Alright, so I got chrome silver around these here where I put the torpedoes in place there, the coverings. Just got to run fiber optic lines to the red LEDs. I'm just going to let the paint dry first and then run those lines, and then we're going to put the clear plastic window parts in, get all those in place. And then there's points here where I have to drill out. On these points here you can see little notches there. I got to drill out for lighting there on both sides, on the top and bottom, and a few other little spots which will be lit up with fiber optics. Okay, so I got all the window coverings in there now. I just glued around the edges just so they hold them in place. Okay, so I'm going to run the fiber optic lines from the torpedoes to the red LEDs here. So I got all those lines look good. So they're poking through quite a bit there, but I'll trim them down later. Right now I just gotta don't touch them, let the glue set. Even though they're that thick, they're still very delicate with glues. It just trashes the plastic. But don't use crazy glue. That's even worse. With lines that thick, you can get away with using a hot glue gun, but at a lower temperature, and just dab it on real fast. Blow on it if you have to cool it down so it doesn't warp out the plastic. I'm just gonna do the rear ones, and the launchers are pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna do a test here with these connected with these lights and see if they work okay. If they do, I might have to reduce the resistor, because that's a 470 on there right now. If I find that they are going to work but they're just not bright enough, I'll try with a lower resistor and using the 12 volt power supply, and see how that works. Torpedoes are working fine with the 12 volt power supply. Now, another thing you have to figure is the resistor. You have to get the right resistor on there that'll handle the power, the amperage. If you have to get a larger resistor. But this one, because there's so many other resistors in the line before this, it's able to handle the current, so it's not frying. There's no smoke, no nothing. So, and yeah, it looks like that's going to work just fine. Nice. Now, if you find that the light is not being distributed evenly amongst all the LEDs, you take your yeah, your welder, your soldering iron, and just gently melt the tips together so it looks like this. Just be very gentle with it. Just melt it down. You don't have to melt it very far, and then it will distribute the light more evenly amongst the lines there. Okay, got all the windows in place there now. Looks good. Okay. I just want to do a quick light test to see how this whole thing will light up. Oh, mamma mia! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Alright, now I got the fiber optic lines here, chrome silvered, so no light bleeds through the torpedoes. So it looks good. I didn't add any glue to it because I found it just ate through the lines like crazy, so I just left them bare. Now I got the windows in here, so I'm just gonna put these on here now. Okay, doing the test fitting, we see here that this is interfering where the flashing is going to go right here. So you got to snip this off in order to be able to fit in the lighting there. So that portion here has got to go. Now, there's another issue here where there's a gap. So I just got to putty that, fill it in, and that should take care of that issue. There we go. Just let that set overnight, and then I can clean it up after and paint it. And before I get too much more done here, on these little points here where the light is on, so I'm going to drill holes in these on the bottom and the top and get it ready for fiber optic lines. Alright, so I got a really tiny one on here. So let's get this done. Okay, now I got the fiber optics there run. I got a 0.20 fiber optics. So I'm just gonna have these set up. We're placing lights there and there. It's just gonna be white lights. Probably with a 47 ohm resistor, but I got one that can actually handle the voltage here. Like I got these ones here that are a bit larger than these regular ones that I use, because they can handle a higher voltage amperage, since I'm going to be using a 12 volt power supply. One thing that would help with these, if I don't have the right one, using a small one, is like with the red ones here, I have them tied in with these light strands here, and that would help reduce the amperage, which hopefully, well, they shouldn't burn out. So that's what I'm probably going to do if I can't find the right size resistor. I'll just do that. So I got to finish off the drilling for those, and then for the points up in here. Okay, so we got this here is the part that goes across here. So you got these little points in here that are also lit up. I think like green and then red on both sides. So I gotta be very careful drilling the holes down, and once I get the holes drilled there, glue that in place, and then drill all the way through into the body of the hull here, and then get the right lighting in place, and that will take care of the lighting on either side there. Now we got a point right up here where it is also lit up. So we got this that goes in here, and it's lit up here on the back. So I have to drill down through there into the body so I can get a LED that points up for there. And the same with over here too. Obviously no drilling needed there. I just got to put the clear piece in, which is colored blue, and just an LED pointing up at it, and that'll take care of that. So there's a lot to do yet. I moved up to a larger bit now. Just got to drill that area out there and get lighting in underneath. Fiber optics there. Just gonna get the lights for those two. So it goes in there just like that on both sides, and getting lines for this. And we are rocking. Okay, now we got the fiber optic line run going to the white LED, 47 ohm on that, 47 ohm on this one. I decided to not have just like one resistor and then both lights running off of it. I wanted them to be separated. It just helps to disperse the amperage just a little bit more between each light. Now you gotta remember, all of these are going to be tied into the main lights as well, so it'll go easier on the resistor since I don't have any larger ones. So, ones of the right value that I want. Okay, so yeah. Alright, so we got these here on both sides tied in together. And got the two sides there tied in together with this shunt. Let's do a quick light test just to make sure that's actually going to work. For this test, I'm just going to use a 9-volt power source. I don't want the resistors to get burnt out. Okay. Do that. You can see the light there, which is good. And then lit up there. Good. Not bad. Alright. So I got an LED here. Lights up this section. Now I got these little points here on the top and bottom that are not flashers, they're just on. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use 3 5mm whites just pointing across them. It's just not flashing or anything like that. It's just lighting them up. And you don't want them overly bright, so that's why it's just going across, and it'll light up both the top and bottoms. And that'll take care of that. Okay, got this hooked in here now. This one light here lights up this single one there as well. So, got it all tied in here. Just going to make sure you got it on the right side of the resistor. You don't want to put it on the side where it's being resisted. You want to be on that side. You got it tied into there as well. Okay, so let's do a quick light test. I'm just using a 9-volt again. See, it even lights that one up as well as that one. Everything looks good. Not bad. Alright. Very nice. Okay, so I finally got these lights working where the resistors aren't burning out. Okay, so I got this great big 91 ohm resistor on here. And then I got a 180 ohm resistor, a smaller one there. This in here reduces the amperage, making it easier for this one to handle it. And it's still plenty bright enough. I had to replace that light again. So those appear to be working quite fine. I've had it on for a while now. Nothing smelling, nothing burning, so we're doing okay. Okay, replace this setup as well. So I got 91. There's this big one here, and 180 ohm resistor on that down there. Same with this setup all up here for the top half. Because you gotta remember, you're dealing with a 12-volt power supply, so it's gonna be pretty high. But anyway, it all works now. Alright, so now I'm going to get this done here, where I got to drill holes in each one of these sections here on both sides and get that ready for fiber optics. Okay, I got my smallest bit in there right now. I'm just going to use that as a pilot hole so I can go up to a bit larger hole afterwards. So for this, I'm going to be using a 0.20 mil or fiber optic lines. So I got a little bit larger size bit, and I re-drilled the holes, so they look pretty good now. And the fiber optic lines are good. So what I'm gonna do here is take this piece, glue it in place, and then once that's set, drill the holes right down into the hull, and then I can get the lights all installed for that as well. Ay, caramba. Don't want glue blocking the holes. Okay, now there are points here that need to be lit up. I just got lights pointing at it sideways there on either side. I got them tied in over here with these lights. I laid up the area for the cargo area. Now there's two more points up here on the front, one there on that side, but I don't need any lights here because you got these lights here that are already pointing at it, and they light up quite nicely. So it's like this point here on both sides. Looks good. Now I just need a point here for LEDs on either side there. Now I suspect this is a flasher on the bottom and the top in the center, so I gotta change that out on the top part of the hull. So I'm gonna get two more LEDs that just point at it on the side. Actually, no, because that's right, I was gonna use the 5 mil lights that will light up both of these on the top and the bottom at the same time. So just the 5 mils right there is all I need, and that'll take care of those. So that's a flasher on the bottom and on the top. Of course, the flashers on the sides there, a flasher behind the bridge and on the backs of the engines. Okay, now I want to move on this area here for the observation deck and get that put in place. Got a little bit of paint I need to do on the observation deck here. Like the blue section around there, that stays blue, and then the rest of it I'm going to get it covered in so no light goes through. The top cap here for it, that's not really supposed to be blue, it's supposed to be the hull color here. So I got to get that painted, and then I can install those. Here we go, just like that. Now when I get the LED on there ready to go, I'm going to encase it all with the glue gun and then paint it chrome silver so that no other light interferes with this. When the flasher is off, I want it black. There's no other light interfering with it, and all you see is the flash. Okay, now there is another issue I've had in the past with model builds like this, and that's these arms here. They are extremely delicate, and I don't like them. So the whole point here, I'm going to cover them in, get them closed off, and then I'm going to re-drill a new hole probably about here, and just have a single rod coming down into the stand, it'll be a whole lot easier. It's just like if you have to go move the model, these things will snap. Like it'll snap in there or wherever, and I've had horrible issues with that in the past. So I'm just going to have a metal rod going in there, and then I'm going to make a cap to put on it over here so it won't flow into the model or slide up inside or anything like that. So I'm going to get rid of that issue. And then all the wiring goes down the tube into the stand, and that'll take care of that issue. It's just a whole lot better setup if it's done that way. Now I'm just trying to think here, like where the sweet spot would be to have it. I can't put it over here because that's where the the shuttle bays are. I don't want it there because you got to think, you got the warp engines on here, which adds a little bit of weight. So that's just the issue. It's just like I said, probably right about here, because it's still nose heavy. With the warp engines on, it should even it out. So this point here, like a good point right there, right here, to drill it out for the tube. So there's the rod like this, which is perfect. I just cut it down a little bit shorter, probably about half the length, because I don't want the model stand way up high. So I'm just going to have it probably about this long, about 6 inches or so. That's all I really need. So what I'm going to do here is find a sweet spot right here. There we go. Got it marked out there. I just got to drill the hole, but drill it on a straight down, not on an angle. Just gotta let that set now, and then I can smoothen it off, do some painting on that. Okay, that's had time to set overnight. It's good. A little bit of smoothing and repainting there, but other than that, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to drill all the way through into the hull there now with the holes, and then we should get that done. And now we are ready for the fiber optics. We need 6 lines. There's 3 in each side. Okay, the two outer points here are red, and the single one on the outer edge here is green. So this goes to a green LED. These two go to a red, and the same with that side there as well. Okay, so let's get those LEDs in place there. I almost forgot, there's this little nib right here. That's also a light point, so I got to drill a hole for there as well. There we go, got them all in place there. There's a dab of glue on there. Just gonna let that set for a bit. So it looks not too bad. Come on, focus. There we go. Looks good. Alright, let's see here. Got it all hooked up here. Got the greens, red, and a white here. And you got 91 ohm resistors, the big ones, which help reduce the amperage to the smaller resistors. This in here, I got 180 going to the white, 470. Oh, it's 470 going to the green, and 68 going to the red. It sounds backwards, but anyway, you know, in order to avoid this hassle, just have larger resistors like this at a higher rating. So, and then I got them tied into the other lights down here. So let's do a light test just to make sure these things are going to work. Okay, looks good. No smelling, nothing burning, no smoke. Because we're dealing 12 volt, 1 amp of power going through here. So see, all lit up there. You see on the outer ones, they're supposed to be red on the outer side and green single ones on the inside. I got the bulbs backwards. But you know what? I don't care. It's my model. I'll have it any way I want. And of course the center one there, which lights up the registry, white. So it looks good. Not bad. Not bad. It's working. Looks like a mess, but it's working. Well, that is it for this episode, everyone. In the next one, we are going to finish off the lighting and start doing some more assembly. Please like, subscribe, comment, don't forget to share, and click that notification bell for any future uploads. If you have any questions, or you want me to do commission work for you, contact me at epic.models@gmail.com. See you all again later in the next one. Bye-bye.